Have you ever found yourself redoing tasks over and over, feeling paralyzed by the fear of making mistakes, or constantly chasing an impossible standard? If so, then today's topic might be for you. Join me today as we dive into a topic that so many of us grapple with, and that is perfectionism. Perfectionism is a double-edged sword. It can be both good and bad, depending on how it's approached. When it's healthy, it can be self-motivating. When you strive for high standards, it can push you to do your best and achieve great results. Perfectionists also tend to notice things that others might miss. This can prove valuable if you are in a creative or technical field. On the other hand, unhealthy perfectionism can lead to stress, anxiety, low self-esteem, and other issues that can affect your quality of life. The fear of not doing something perfectly can stop you from even starting. When you set unrealistic high expectations, it can make you feel like you're never good enough. Perfectionists also tend to overanalyze everything, and that can hinder creativity. Perfectionism is more than just wanting to do well. It's the relentless pursuit of flawlessness. It's that voice in your head that whispers, "This isn't good enough," or "You're not good enough." And while wanting to excel is normal, those who are perfectionists can sometimes take it to an extreme. Perfectionists often overthink every detail because they are afraid of making a mistake. This often leads to procrastination and hesitation. Perfectionists also push themselves to reach unattainable standards, which can lead to exhaustion and burnout. And this isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. The underlying base of perfectionism isn't really about a deep love of being meticulous. It's about fear. The fear of making a mistake, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of failure, and even the fear of success. Perfectionists often fear failure so intensely that they avoid risk or new opportunities altogether. This fear can keep them stuck and prevents them from growing. When you hold yourself to impossibly high standards, you may also project those expectations onto others. This can strain relationships and lead to feelings of isolation. People who are perfectionists are emotionally dependent on the outcome. Any imperfect outcome can trigger emotions of shame, of guilt, anxiety, worthlessness, and imposter syndrome. They can also be defensive whenever they face any criticism. So now we know, unhealthy perfectionism doesn't make you feel perfect. It makes you feel inadequate. It can be a thief. It will steal your joy, your time, and even your potential. Know that perfection doesn't guarantee success. You don't have to be perfect to succeed. In fact, perfection is a roadblock to progress. To break free and overcome perfectionism, we need to be real and authentic with ourselves. So dig deep and find the courage to detach from the outcome. Accept that perfection is an illusion. When we feel comfortable with our own choices and embrace our own imperfections, we will stop feeling this driving need to criticize ourselves and others. Real growth happens when we learn from our mistakes, not when we avoid them. So stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to live up to others' expectations. Try to be better instead. and know that it's okay to make a mistake. You can't learn anything by being perfect. In overcoming perfectionism, learn to adjust your expectations to be more realistic and compassionate. Challenge the standards that you set for yourself. Are they achievable, or are they setting you up for failure? Focus on how far you have come rather than how far you think you need to go. Know that perfection is the enemy of progress, so celebrate and reward yourself for your progress and not perfection. Learn to embrace and practice self-compassion. Stop minimizing your achievements and focusing on your flaws. Stop pursuing perfection and start to pursue self-correction instead. Look to shift your perspective to give yourself the same grace that you give others. Gently strive to let go of perfectionism and allow self-compassion to take its place. Speak to yourself the way you would to a friend or a loved one. Would you tell your loved one that they're not good enough because of a minor mistake? Then why do it to yourself? Perfectionism might feel like it's pushing you forward, but in reality, it's holding you back. The key is balance. Healthy perfectionism means you can set high goals, but also know when good enough is truly good enough. The unhealthy perfectionist comes with self-criticism, burnout, and the fear of failure. Breaking free from unhealthy perfectionism doesn't mean settling for mediocrity. It means accepting that you are human, beautifully imperfect, and constantly evolving. So put down the burden of being perfect and learn to grow, to embrace our flaws, and to live a little more freely. Let others be inspired by the way you deal with your struggles, your heartache, and your imperfections. Be your unique and wonderful self, and choose peace over perfection.